State and local governments across the country tonight bracing for tax hikes and cutbacks of services. New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg warning that tough, unpopular cuts are coming to New York. And as Casey Wyan reports, the entire state of California once again in dire financial straits.
California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger is desperately trying to close an $11 billion state budget deficit. So he's called a special session of the state legislature to consider a massive tax increase and deep spending cuts.
In the 6 weeks since I've signed the last budget, the mortgage crisis has deepened, unemployment has increased, and the stock market has lost more than 20% of its value. And I know how painful this is to everyone here in California. Many of Californians have lost their homes, they've lost their jobs, retirement funds have disappeared, and everyone is worrying about the future.
In the future, under Schwarzenegger's plan, Californians will pay an extra 1.5% in sales taxes. In some cities, that will boost the rate above 10%. Sales tax will also be charged on lots of additional services, from automobile repairs to a round of golf, veterinary bills, even a trip to Disneyland. State programs will be slashed, including more than $2.5 billion from education. Also scaled back health care for low-income adults, grants for seniors and the disabled, as well as vacations and overtime for state employees. If that's not bad enough, many California cities are adding to the pain. San Diego plans to lay off police staff, close fire stations, libraries, and recreational facilities.
I'm asking the citizens of San Diego to do their part in helping us through this difficult time. We all know that government can't solve every problem.
Los Angeles is also considering layoffs and 9% spending cuts for large city departments. From coast to coast, state and local governments are in trouble, prompting this plea from the mayor of New York.
New Yorkers must pull together. Every city agency must push each dollar further. We're going to do that. Doing that involves making hard choices that will not be popular with everyone or perhaps anyone, but they are the right ones to see us through these very difficult economic times.
Nationwide, home prices are down, cutting property tax revenue. Layoffs are up, so income tax revenue is falling, and consumers aren't spending as much, slashing sales taxes. The National League of Cities says for the first time in recent history, local government finance officers are reporting that all three primary sources of revenue for local communities, property, sales, and income taxes, are in distress. The National Association of Counties reports that 87% of counties with at least 500,000 people expect revenue shortfalls this year. That's squeezing services from law enforcement to health care.
At the very time when public services are needed the most, when we have unemployment and we have people who are really struggling economically, that's when they need the most services and when we have the fewest revenue sources to provide those services. 10
states have already implemented across-the-board spending cuts, according to the National Council of State Legislatures. 15 are raising taxes or cutting fees. President-elect Obama, in his first post-election news conference, said helping state and local governments is a top priority.
I think it's going to be very important for us to provide the kinds of assistance to state and local governments to make sure that they don't compound some of the problems that are already out there by having to initiate major layoffs or initiate tax increases.
But that's already happening, a fact likely underscored by Michigan Governor Jennifer Granholm and Los Angeles Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa, two members of Obama's Economic Advisory Board. Many local governments, including the National Association of Counties, are pushing federal lawmakers and the Bush administration to act before Obama takes office. They want a second economic stimulus package with at least $100 billion targeted at local government programs, including infrastructure, Medicaid, and extended unemployment insurance. Lou?
And of course, one budget not included in your survey of what's happening at the state and local level, and that is the federal budget deficit, which is expected by many to reach $1.2 trillion this fiscal year. Casey, thank you very much. Casey Wyan.